guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about another... That's off to a great start. Today I'm going to be talking about another palette from Makeup Revolution, and this is one that I was really excited about when I saw it. It actually came out in January, so it's been out for quite a few weeks now, but I was on my no-buy at the time and I saw it and I was very upset that I was on a no-buy, so February came around, I bought it and I'm excited. It's the Revolution Forever Flawless Birds of Paradise palette. I've spoken about 3 Forever Flawless palettes so far on my channel and I've had mixed result out of 3 of them. 2 of them I had a great time with, 1 of them not so much. I will make sure to link the reviews in the description box down below and also in the cards as we go along with the video. Let's get rid of the plastic sleeve. Look at this packaging. I feel like everyone's just done all of their Valentine's looks, so we've just been seeing mostly like pinks and purples and reds, and now everyone is like back to doing really bright colours, especially with the weather at the moment. I know that I am ready to get some bright colours on my eyes. Let's get into the details. This palette retails for £10 and contains 18 eyeshadows. Each one of them weighs 1.1 grams. The palette is cruelty-free and vegan and has a shelf life after opening of 12 months. On the back we have the usual diagram with all of the eyeshadows, and 10 of those have got an asterisk and they are noted as pressed pigments, so we do have a symbol to say that they are not eye safe. We have the usual tin packaging, which I've mentioned before that I really like because it feels really secure. Like I never feel like it's just going to pop open in my bag. And of course on the front we have this stunning tropical bird feather packaging. When you open it up you have this plastic sheet of paper. What? When you open it up you have this sheet of plastic which you always have to protect the eyeshadows, and oh my god, that is really pretty. Oh, I'm really excited to get into this palette. We have, as always, the mirror over here, and then yeah, look at these amazing shades. Oh, I love the names. Take Flight, Exotic, Lovebirds, Rio. Oh, this palette makes me need a holiday. It really does. It's absolutely stunning. Lovebirds and Rio are both pressed glitters, and then we have 3 shimmers which are Exotic, Hot Tropic and Fiesta, and the rest is mattes. If you watched either my review of the Forever Flawless Chilled palette or the one that I just did about the Revolution Pro Smoked palette, you'll know that one of my big criticisms was how few mattes they had in them. I mean, this is stunning. I just want to get my hands into it, and I think we should. Oh yeah, one more thing that I just want to mention before getting into some swatches. The only thing about this palette was that when it came out, a lot of people did mention that it looked a lot like a palette they already had in the range. I don't know the name of it, but I will of course as always include a screenshot. I think it was a Forever Flawless palette. I assume it was because it was the same format, but it came out at Halloween. I just wanted to briefly mention that because I thought it was a little bit odd. So I am going to jump into the swatches. I'm going to have a timestamp here letting you know where to skip ahead. I'm never going to put it in the description box. I'm far too forgetful for that. So let's see how this swatches. I will be really upset if these shades don't perform well, but so far, oh wow, oh my god, I'm excited. Sorry, I just put my finger in one of the shades. I'm excited to swatch it now. So yeah, I really hope that these shades perform well because I will be so disappointed if they don't. Okay, this is Macaw. God, I hope I'm saying that right. Then we have Vaycay. God, you guys. Wow, that swatched amazingly. I assume it's one of the pressed pigments. Then the next one is Take Flight. We're off to a great start, guys. We're off to a really good start. Ah! Up next we have Exotic, which is one of our shimmers. That's not a great swatch, and I have to say, I found it really hard to pick up the product. Like, I really had to dig in with my finger, so yeah, it's a little bit sheer. We've got our 2 glitters now. This is Lovebirds, and then the next one is Rio. Oh, okay, this is interesting. Right, the next one is the yellow, which is Canary. Oh, wow, that looks like an amazing yellow. Then we have Adventure. Guys, I can't believe how well these are swatching. Right, so here's what I want to mention now. We have Hot Tropic. If you remember from, Oh, hang on a second. If you guys remember from my chilled palette video, I found that some of the metallics had almost like a putty texture. If I show you guys, I hope you guys will be able to see. When I go to pick up the product, my finger sinks in and it really feels like a putty, but that is much prettier than what I had in the chilled palette. It's definitely performing a lot better, so I have high hopes for that one. It does have a little bit of a sheerness to it, but I'm not mad at it. Okay, we have 3 mattes next. We have Budgie. Not the best swatch for the mattes. I feel like these ones I'm kind of having to go back and press down a bit more. Then we have Tocan Play. Did they mean toucan? Genuine question, I don't know. I'm gonna pick up a bit more product again because I feel like these ones are a little bit harder to swatch. I'm gonna check if they're pressed pigments, these ones or not, but this is Island. So Budgie is an eyeshadow and not a pressed pigment, so that might explain why I wasn't kind of as impressed with it. These two are. They didn't feel like as creamy as some of the top ones did, but still lovely. I'm not going to be able to fit in the last row of shadows there, but that is a gorgeous start. I am particularly impressed by the pink. This one as well is really pretty, and that yellow and that purple. I have no idea what I'm going to put on my eyes. There's too much choice. The next 2 shades are both pressed pigments, but I definitely felt like they didn't pick up in the same way when I put my finger in them. So the first one is Tail Feather. It's cute. And then we have Tweet. Oh, do you guys see that? That just literally crumbled off my arm. Then we have Fiesta, and Fiesta again is that putty. Oh my god, Tweet, very crumbly. It literally just fell on my finger just there. So yeah, Fiesta has that putty consistency again, but it's a really nice, like golden olivey shade. It's very original. Right, next up we have Cardinal. Oh, that's a lovely swatch. No crumbliness at all there whatsoever. Then Jungle, and finally we have Cockatoo, which is a matte white and might actually be a good one for once. Look at that swatch. Wow. Oh, I'm excited, guys. I'm so excited to get into this one. I've just really quickly jumped on the Revolution website because I wanted to know whether or not they actually mention the consistency of these shimmers, and they do. They describe them as soft to touch, creamy shimmers. At least it's only 3 shades in the palette though, so it's not going to be too much of an issue. 13 out of 18 shades are mattes and they look amazing, and I need to stop talking and start using this palette. So I'm just going to go now, prime my eyes with the PLouise palette, and then we're gonna jump right in. I said PLouise palette, didn't I? PLouise Base. PLouise Base. Too much excitement, guys. Too much excitement. Before I jump in, I haven't mentioned that this palette is a dupe for anything. I don't think it is. The only thing that I kind of wondered is if it was a dupe for Jawbreaker. I thought they were kind of similar tones of rainbow palettes, but when I look at pictures of Jawbreaker, I just don't see it. So I think this palette is actually pretty unique, which is exciting when it comes to Makeup Revolution. Anyway, I don't know why I'm still wasting time. I don't know where to start. I think I'm gonna go into Adventure first, which is calling my name. It is a little bit dusty. What am I gonna do with this? I want to put as many colours as I can on, so I'm going to start applying it to the outer third of my crease using my Zoeva 231 brush. Ooh, wow. I haven't actually picked up any more product yet because I kind of want to see how far I can go with this. That's really good. I am impressed already. Packs a punch. Okay, I've just dipped in one more time. See, now that I've dipped in a 3rd time, I do have a teeny tiny bit of fallout. If you've watched my last video, you know that I had a bit of a crisis when it came to fallout, but so far this is nowhere near like what I had. It really is like a few drops, and I probably just dug in quite hard because I think if you dig into the shade, it's going to be quite powdery. That's off to a fantastic start. I need to pick what I'm gonna put next to that though. I'm gonna go in with Tweet. I'm gonna go in with Cardinal actually, which is the more orangey red. And I'm just gonna put that next to it in the crease. Cardinal is also a pressed pigment, but I definitely didn't get like as much pigmentation from it. I had to dip back in a lot sooner than I did with Adventure. But once you've packed it on, it's also gorgeous. I mean, look at that. I'm gonna go back in with my first brush to help blend them out. Yeah, just a little bit more work than the first colour. No fallout from that one. Maybe it's pressed a little bit harder or something. I'm going to go into Island, which is the lighter purple, to start blending that out on the outer corner because I don't know what I want to put on the inside yet, so I feel like I need to start blending that out first to kind of know what direction I'm headed in. So I've just given my first Zoeva 231 Just gonna add some more of Island. Okay, there we go. I like it a lot better now. The beige I'm using is just Frostbite from the Ice palette again because it matches me quite nicely. So I'm just making sure it's nice and blended out. I would always rather not have to use another palette in a first impression, but I feel like this is more down to my technique than the actual eyeshadow palette. I definitely did find that I dipped into it a lot more than I did into Island, partly because I'm using this brush, but also because I think Adventure is just like a really, really bright shade. I'm pretty pleased with the effect overall. Okay, before jumping into the next colour, I just want to quickly say, while I was doing this eye, I definitely did feel like things were going slightly patchy with that lighter purple. It's not patchy when I swatch it, and it is one of the pressed pigments, but I do feel like so far it's been the hardest shade to pick up, so I do feel like possibly the shades aren't all pressed equally, and some of them might be pressed harder than others. In the inner third, I'm gonna go for Jungle, which again is quite dusty. So I'm just taking that on another Zova 231. We're gonna see how that applies. I'm not gonna take it all the way. I'm gonna leave the inner corner free. This is quite nice for a green. Not really giving me any fallout. I'm just gonna go back in with more of Cardinal. I'm not gonna worry too much about blending these two shades together because they are just gonna get a bit muddy. Okay, so I'm now going to jump into Tocan Play, and I'm going to use that on a Zova 231 to blend out Cardinal. I'm going to switch to a Sigma E36 again, because I feel like it's applying the colour on top of Cardinal, but I'm struggling to actually blend the two out. Maybe this will make my life easier. I feel like it's going a bit dull where it's by itself. Where it's layered with Cardinal, it's alright, but where it's actually on the PLouise base, like it almost feels a little bit dull. Don't feel like it comes across on camera, but in real life, I don't know, it just doesn't quite have that intensity. But it's also blended things out quite nicely. I didn't feel like I had too many issues picking this one up with the Sigma E36. Okay, so now I'm gonna jump into Budgie on a Zova 231 again, and I'm gonna apply that to the inside of the crease, right up towards the inner corner. That's picked up really well. I haven't dipped back in. The greens are lovely. I'm really impressed with the greens. Next, I'm gonna jump into Canary. Oh, wow. Oh, that just looks stunning. And I'm gonna use it to blend out both of the greens. Okay, I feel like this is not blending out quite as easily as all the other shades. I feel like it is giving me like a line. I'm not sure why. Yeah, it's definitely doing it. I'm gonna jump back into my Zova 231, not adding any more product. I'm just gonna see if I can blend those out. No, see, I think like it looks quite muddy. I'm gonna take a bit more of Jungle. And then back into Canary. Interesting. I don't really know which eyeshadow's fault that is. Slightly disappointing. Okay, so normally at this stage I would go and cut my crease and then come back to do the lower lash line afterwards, but I don't quite know what I want to do on my cut crease yet, so I'm actually going to do the lower lash line first. Again, I'm a bit unsure. I really want to use Vaycay, and I also really want to use the blues. I think what I'm just going to have to do for the outer half of my lower lash line is just take Adventure again. To it, I'm going to go in with Macaw, and I'm going to do the inner half. So bearing in mind that I don't have any PLouise Base on my under eye, I have concealer that I've set with powder. I think they've both come out pretty well. Taking a Sigma E36, I'm now going to jump into Vaycay and blend out the outer half. Ooh, okay. I haven't even touched my face yet. And I've already got like a speck of pink fallout. So again, this is a really powdery shade. No, the Sigma E36 isn't working for it. What could I use instead? Let me try another Zoeva brush. I'm going to take it very lightly because we know it's powdery. Trying to correct it a little bit, but it still does look a bit messy. I am now going to take Flight on my last Zoeva 231 and I'm going to blend that out at the front of the eye. I think it might be the brush that I've used, but it's done some weird things. As much as I love those Zoeva brushes, they definitely are too big for my under eye. Normally I would reach more for the Sigma brush, the E36, but I felt like something wasn't quite working. It wasn't quite picking up the shades right, but going in with my Morphe, what is this, M330 and Frostbite from the Ice palette seems to be helping. I can just clean everything up. I think now I kind of wish that I had used the red because it feels like it is missing a little bit. Other than that, it's turned out pretty well. The biggest issue so far has just been that blending issue there at the front of the crease, which I think is a shame. Anyway, I am gonna go and cut my crease and then we're gonna decide what color we're putting on my lid because I, as always, have no idea. All right, so that's my cut crease done. And I have to say, now that I've done that, I really feel like things look a lot brighter. Maybe it's because we've cut out some of that green. I don't know, things just look really, really bright now. I am really unsure about what to do now. Blue glitter does look amazing. I think I'm going to start by taking Adventure and I'm going to bring it into the cut crease diagonally. I do almost feel like I could do with something slightly darker just in my inner corner. I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to go off camera, finish the look up, see whether I'm adding liner or not, and then we'll come back and have a chat about the palette. Alright guys, here is the finished look. So I went ahead and added some gems. Just because I hadn't used any of the glitters, I felt like it just needed a little something extra. I did add some of the Super Beauty Hydra Liner in Space Panda just to kind of redefine the cut crease a little bit. It did feel like it was getting a bit lost. And then for the lips, I wanted something really bright and really fun to go with the look, I got a box from MUA who sent me a bunch of their lipsticks, and this one is perfect. This is the shade Romance. So time for my final thoughts on the palette. I definitely have mixed feelings about this one. It's not all bad. It's not like the chilled palette where I was like, I'm never touching this one again. I feel like I am gonna have a play around with this one in the future, but I'm not as in love with it as the Forever Flawless Ice or the Forever Flawless Allure. In terms of things that I really like about this, I do like the color selection with the mattes. I like how many mattes there are. I didn't have any issues with inspiration. I just kind of wanted to stick more and more colors on my face and see how many of them I could use. My favorites currently are probably Macaw, Vaycay, and Adventure. The pigmentation was really nice. They're really gorgeous colors, and they're probably the ones that look the brightest on my eye. I mean, they are the centerpiece of the eye, to be fair. I do also really like the fact that it has a white. It's a decent white. It's probably not the best white in the world. I think it probably is the best white that I have in my collection right now, so I'm glad that it's there. And the glitters are stunning. I obviously haven't used them today, but I want to use them. I don't have anything like these in my collection right now, so I can see myself possibly going through them quite fast just because I don't have anything else like them. I did, of course, have to use Frostbite from the Ice palette to blend things out. However, that doesn't necessarily bother me. I don't feel like a beige is missing from this color story. It's just that I was kind of messing up and I needed that extra beige eyeshadow, but I'm not going to hold it against this palette not having one. I know I also mentioned that I would have quite liked to have something a little bit darker, maybe a black to just deepen that out. Again, I don't really mind that it's not in there. I know that some people really like palettes that have everything in them. For £10 for 18 shades, I'm not that fussed. It's not like the James Charles palette or the Carnival palettes or even the Mitchell palette. They have a lot more shades. They're also more expensive palettes, so I expect them to have all of that in there. With this one, I don't mind as much. It's not a problem for me that it doesn't have those. I still felt like I could use this palette. I didn't have any issues with inspiration. It had all the shades I needed in there today for this look. In terms of the slightly more negative things about this palette, I do feel like in areas this look is a little bit dull. I think the biggest issue for me probably was Canary, which looks in the palette and looked in the swatches like it was going to be really bright, but I think this whole front part is a bit dull. I also had those blending issues between the greens and Canary. That to me was a little bit of a shame. Also for me, the selection of shimmers is a little bit odd. I think those two glitter shades fit in great, but I'm not sure I really understand the three shimmers. I suppose this one is a little bit of a gold, but it's more olivey. Maybe a proper gold would have been nicer. Also a white shimmer. I think a white shimmer to finish off the front of the cut crease would have been really nice. I feel like I would be happier with those shades than I maybe am with the shimmers that are in there. I just feel like I probably won't end up using these shimmers all that much. I'll probably end up using ones in other palettes or using pigments. And also the creamy texture, I know I didn't like it when it was in the chilled palette. I'd have to give it a proper go in here. I'd rather just the normal shimmer formula that's in the Ice and the Allure palette. I don't know why they change it. Some people must like it. It's not really for me. So yeah, some mixed feelings about today's palette. Do I think it's a fail? No. Do I think it's worth the £10 for this palette? I definitely wouldn't pay more than that for it. With this particular range, they're £10 because you're also paying for the really nice packaging. I mean, this does look amazing and the colours inside do look gorgeous as well. I wouldn't pay more than that for it. If you can get it on offer, maybe it's a 3 for 2 with some sort of money off, that's maybe when I would recommend getting it. I just kind of feel like the Ice palette and the Allure palette, I was more comfortable with them being £10. It's a nice look, but I have some brighter eyeshadows and maybe I kind of wish like this had been more like the £8 mark. If it was more than £10, I wouldn't bother, but you are also getting the nice packaging. Anyway guys, that is it for today's video. I do hope that you enjoyed it. I do really like the look that I've created, but I feel like there's just something kind of missing from this palette, and the shimmers are probably where the issue is for me. I think maybe the shades aren't quite right, and that's kind of what puts me off completely recommending it. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, then do please as always give it a big thumbs up, leave me a comment letting me know what you thought of it, and of course subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on my next video, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye guys!